strong. Ooh-wee. She's a strong woman. She knows what life is worth. She's been through anguish, and many times she's hurt. She's been through the fire.
Blessings, greetings. Yes, it's me again, Sophia Greene, aka Ladies by the Well, and we're presently in Brooklyn, and the journey continues. And today we're gonna have a mini interview with one of the icons and the anchor in my life when I was in New York City. As we go through this journey, you're gonna see that there's quite a few people and men in my life that was very pivotal to my journey, that was the roots and the foundation to assisting me along this journey. And today we're at Brooklyn Car Service, my very first job in New York City when I entered into the States 1987. It's approximately 36 degrees in New York City, and as you can see, the sun is shining and you would think that it's warm, you would think that it's hot, but it's not. That's another one of the negative about being here as an immigrant. When you're from a very, very, very warm country and you come here, you get fooled a lot and you get deceived a lot. What you see is not usually what it is, because right now the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, but it's 36 degrees. It's not warm, it's cold, but I'm gonna run right in the building where it's nice and warm. So I didn't put my jacket on because I'm only gonna be here for 5 minutes. So we're gonna go inside and we're gonna interview a man that when I came into this country was a man that held my hands, walked with me, and until this day, over 2 decades, he's still one of the father figure in my life where I could be standing here speaking with you. Let's get it on. So as I told you guys that when I came to this country, one of the father figures in my life that held me down and held me up and held my hands along this journey was a gentleman by the name of Mr. Ronald Parks, the proprietor of Apple Car Service. This man has played such a tremendous role in my life that I could praise him and I could talk all these positive things about him forever. But we're not going to go through all of that. Right now, we're here with a foundation and the roots in my life, Mr. Ronald Park, and we're going to have a talk with him and ask him a few questions about me and him, and you know how his life was in America when he came here, you know how it was when I used to work for him. So on that note, we're gonna meet Mr. Park, so come with me. So Ronnie, good morning, darling.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well.
Well, Ronnie, you know I'm doing this like a documentary about my life when I came here, and to really reflect back on some of the things I went through. And when I came here in 1987 and I left from JFK Airport, an apartment was set up for me, a job was waiting for me, and you were one of the channels that made it possible so I could be here today, sitting in America and doing so many things and achieving so many things. What was a conversation, how you met me, Ronnie, how you come to be a part of my life? 1987.
I come to be a part of your life by meeting your mom, and then we become very close friends together.
Right.
And then she tell me about her daughter, and she want to bring her up here, and I assist her by doing that.
Right.
And I prepare a job for you when you get here, and you're home for you.
Okay. So Ronnie, did you ever think like, okay, I know you invested a lot of money in me over the years, and you invested a lot of time. And I wasn't always an easy person to get along with because I never had good work ethics. I've never worked before. And I came here working for you, and the responsibility of being a dispatcher here, which was one of my first job, and the work ethics of coming to work on time and being responsible enough to know that if I don't come to work, it affects your business. It affects another dispatcher that has to go home to her family. What was your feeling when there's days when I didn't show up for work and they had to call you because I wanted to go to a party or because it was snowing or for whatever reason. How did you feel? Did you feel like, okay, you made a mistake by bringing me here and giving me a job?
No, I never feel that way. It was very disturbing, but I never felt that way.
Okay.
Because of your mom and the relationship, I used to just use that as a part of dealing with you to evaluate the way you operate.
Right.
It was a stretch out to me, very stressful.
Right.
But in my life, I always believe in helping people.
Right.
Regardless who you are.
Right.
That's my belief. It's somebody reach to the top,
Right.
if they can reach. It was my life and my way of helping people, which I continue to do and will always do.
Right. And Ronnie, working for you was a pleasure. But I can remember that I was fired at least over 10 times during the time when I was working for you because of me, not because of you. But you always rehired me. What was it inside of you that made you say, you know what, let me give her another chance?
Because I felt to me that you will have a chance if I don't give it to you.
Right.
You has nowhere else to look for a job
Right.
but to look at me.
Right.
And I didn't want to see you in the street running around, so I think I always give you a chance. And I was happy to see you really uses those choices to get where you are today.
Right. Okay. Ronnie, I appreciate it, and I love you for that, and I thank you. Another thing we're going to touch on. When I came here, you introduced me to a gentleman by the name of Jimmy. And Jimmy and you is like replica of each other. The only difference with you and Jimmy is you were an African descendant and Jimmy was a Caucasian. But you guys had this dynamic relationship and brotherhood that if no one ever met you in person, they wouldn't know that there was a color scheme, a color difference. How did you meet Jimmy and how you guys became best friends and how you guys decided that you are compatible enough to have this intimate relationship to invest money and time and go into a business as partners? Tell us a little bit about that.
I had a business before.
Right.
I had a business located at 809 Marcy Avenue, where I started out my trucking company.
Okay.
Then I going through a lot of problem there with the owners who didn't want for peers to be doing there.
Right.
So I moved the business to Brooklyn Avenue, 4143 Brooklyn Avenue. That's where I met Jimmy. And me and Jimmy becomes personal friend, and we becomes partner both in the business and in the property.
Right.
Until eventually he passed away, and then the business was mine from the original anyway. It was the car service was mine.
Right.
So Jimmy passed away, so that friendship was gone, but I continue to move on and continue to try to grow as much as I can. First of all, I don't have a color problem.
Right.
I don't believe in that.
Right.
And I can speak for our native people.
Right.
Jamaicans on a whole don't have color problem.
Right.
We don't.
Right.
We believe in, our money says out of many one people.
Right.
So we don't have a color problem.
Right.
So it's not hard for me to get around with people, because up till today, 95% of my friends and guys who I work with who own business are all Italians. So I don't have a color problem.
Right, very interesting. So Ronnie, when I came here, Jimmy embraced me. You introduced me. Actually, he heard about me long before I came because he met me, he knew my mother, and he knew the dynamics and the friendship with you and my mom. And he embraced me, and everything just flowed. And the work ethic that I saw with you when I came here, you may not know, but I admire so many things about you. You will always start your day before the sun comes out, and you will end your day after the sun goes down. And my question to you, Ronnie, how long have you been in this country, and how did you get to develop such discipline to know how important it is to be on the job, to be punctual, to, you know, because you're one of the most loyal person that I have ever met. You joke around, and when we're playing around, but when it comes to loyalty, you are dependable and you're punctual. Let us tell the people how many years you're here and what was your outlook of when you just came and the difference with now in the 2017 that we're experiencing all these changes now in America?
Well, it's very simple. I started out as a young guy, learned trade, and I was very disciplined by learning trade.
And your trade was?
A mechanic. I'm a diesel technician.
Right. Yeah.
I travels out around. I've been to Canada, and I've been around, and I was taught to be disciplined.
Right.
I was given the chance to run companies that like 300-400 people works.
Right.
So my way to show the discipline that they could have followed the pattern of mine, and I continue that into my own business.
Okay.
I believe in getting up early, do what's supposed to be done, so somebody other person will follow.
Right.
And that's really where I started, and I maintain that up until today.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So when you came here, Ronnie, because I've experienced some things in America. I've experienced homelessness.
Yeah.
I've experienced being here and not having my residency to advance to other things as going to school and getting other jobs. When you came here, did you come here with your full package, with your social, your green card and everything? Or have you ever been homeless? Because I've experienced homelessness in America twice, yet still I've never been homeless in Jamaica. Have you ever experienced those?
No, I never experienced homeless, but I leave from Jamaica to Canada. I'm a Canadian citizen.
Right.
And then leave from Canada to here, I hold a green card.
Right.
So I never experienced homeless because I always provide.
Right.
I always been a provider in my life.
Right.
So I never seek that way. I take the opportunity that's given to me, which the opportunities in this country. Some people just don't know to use it and to work it. They look the different direction, but it is here. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so Ronnie, you have helped me when I came here, and you have been a fundamental element in my life. And upon that, I have also brought quite a few people here from Jamaica. When I moved on, I introduced them to you, and they got that job through knowing me. So, we keep the torch going. You help me, I help another, and we pass the seed on, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm sitting here with you now after more than 2 decades at coming to 903 St. John's Place as my first resident and working at Apple Car Service. And my first job wasn't a dispatcher, remember. My first job was the receptionist in the oil company. When you had the oil company, I was a receptionist there. That was my first job. Then I was trained to be the dispatcher. So looking back now at where I am all these decades, how you feel about me sitting here? What would be your advice to me going forward as a 40-something-year-old woman that has been through so much, and that you met as a little young girl, innocent, don't know what she's doing? Even though I had a child at the time, this was still a new journey for me. What would be your advice to me and to other immigrants that are watching right now, that is starting out where I started out with no papers, no foundation? What would be your advice to them?
It was very simple. My advice to them, there's heights that you can reach, and the only way you can reach that height is to reach out for it. It's out there for you to reach out and get. And my advice to you right now, I'm very proud to sit in front of you, looking into a camera, and realize that it's Sophia that used to so much as I couldn't deal with.
Yes.
And every day, and along the line, you visited me in a uniform, sometimes I think you're the police. You visit me in this, you visit me in that, and you keep moving on. So my advice to you is to continue, don't stop.
Yes. Thank you, Ronnie. I love you already. I don't have to tell you how much I love you. I couldn't have me sitting here. Is your seed.
Yes.
This is your seed you planted 1987.
Yeah.
2017, you're seeing this seed, and it doesn't stop here. So on that note, Ronnie, I love you. I thank you for your time. And give me a big hug.
I will.
Because I know you're a very busy man. Everybody, this is Mr. Ronald Park.
Yes.
One of the mentor in my life. One of the gentlemen that invested in my life. Money, time, conversations so I can be here. So I'm telling everybody out there, whenever somebody invests in your life, make them proud, and then you find someone to invest in their life. Thank you. You all
today
have
we're going to be touching a few sensitive areas, the dancehall scene, the fast lane, and the era where my dad was murdered. And presently right now I'm sitting at the same location where my dad resided 20 years ago, 2073 Dean Street in Brooklyn, and that's the location of that night where his life was conspired against and taken at the tender age of 49 years old. Sleep in peace, Winston Greene, aka Leleman's Legs, as they called him. And it's ironic that prior to when my father was deceased, for 2 weeks I had this dream of his life being taken and different things happening, and he running and gunshots and burial ground and just a few things that never made sense and wasn't agreeable with my spirit. And I would kind of articulate these things to my dad, and I said, Daddy, something isn't right. I feel that something is about to happen. And my father would say to me, Sophie, don't worry about it. You know, you're probably eating too late. It's just nightmares, and you know, just dismiss it. And I tried to. I prayed about it. I asked for covering for my family and everything. But with all of that being said, it still took place, and I remember it very keenly. It was about 8:30 approximately that night. November, I was upstairs talking to my brother on the phone. My dad came in. At the time I had just relocated from New Jersey, and after not speaking to my father for over 6 months, I felt it in my spirit that I needed to go to New York to make amends with my dad. And we spoke for a brief moment. He said he wanted to see me when I was living in New Jersey, and I came to New York and visited him, and I stayed. I never went back. And my father was a man of action. Even though he was a man of many words, he was also a man of action. So he'll tell you what he means, but he'll also show you what he means. And my father didn't say, I love you very much. He will show you that he loves you. It was November 1996. My dad, as I told you about the dreams, my dad came upstairs, got something out of the house, and told me, Sophia the Bad was what he called me. Sophia the Bad, I'll talk to you later. And as he walked down the steps, this is exactly where his vehicle was parked. And as he walked down the steps on that block, walking down, coming towards his vehicle to get into his vehicle to go back to Rutland and Rockaway Parkway. And while in the house, he got a phone call, and he dealt with the phone call, and he walked towards the vehicle. And when he was walking towards the vehicle that was parked in this same spot, similar vehicle, he was ambushed by a vehicle with 3 guys, and I was in the house, and I could hear all the shots fired. Over 11, 12 shots were fired. And while on the phone speaking to my brother, it's like a spirit moved me down the step, and I walked out of that building, walked across the street, still having a conversation with my brother on the phone, and I saw a body laying down in the street right by that store on the corner over there. And we're going to walk over there so I can show you exactly where I saw my father laying. So this was the era of 1996, of the fast lane, the party life, the drugs game, the burial of my dad, and another part of the journey that started when that ended. Because after my dad died and he was buried, and with all the things that were going on, now it's a new chapter. A chapter where I'm going to find out how many things happened after that era. So until I see you again, I'm Sophia Greene, author of Ladies by the Well. It's been a pleasure. If you like what you see and you heard, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, or subscribe on YouTube. Tell me what you think. Give me a comment. Let me know what's going through your mind. So until then, I'll talk to you on the next journey. Thank you.
So hold on to your dreams.
Ladies, hold on.
Never give up the fight.
Hold on to your
Stand
dreams.
firm in yourself.
Stand firm.
And everything will be alright.
Oh, boy.
What if age is just a number and life goes on forever? Would you make some changes, refix your experiences, dance with your situation and make no limitations? What if you woke up one day and realized it was all a dream? The birth, the pain, the tears, the smile, the rain. What if? What if there's no yesterday, no today, and tomorrow doesn't exist because time is just a myth? Think about all the what ifs and just make today all that matters, cause maybe everything we're stressing over is just that. A what if? A what if?